Do you need encouragement to turn tragedies into your own triumphant life story? If so, this podcast is for you. Listen to powerful guests who have persevered through challenges so you can gain strength to build your championship life. The host of Professor of Perseverance podcast, Dr. James Perdue.
Hey, come on. It's time for us to get some inspiration, motivation. Time to get us some little fire me up. Oh, today, man, we got to, this is going to be good. All right, this is going to be, I know I said this is good before, but this is going to be good. This guy at one time, he said at his peak weighed 367 pounds. He said he was heading in the wrong direction, but he didn't do any weight loss drugs. He didn't have the surgeries. He rebuilt his life through real food, daily walking, developed a different mindset, and now has the never ending of improvement. 220 pounds down later, working on a trip to the moon. Let's go and get this started here. Welcome to the show, Stanley Bronstein.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here. Well, definitely, you got a good word on perseverance, losing 222 pounds and keeping it off for 17 years, you said. So.
Yeah. Well, the whole process has been 17 years.
Yeah.
I haven't gone backwards. That's the important part.
Yeah.
Let me give you a quick rundown, a little background here, and then we'll get into it.
Yeah.
Okay. My journey with obesity started when I was 8 years old. My mother died when I was 8, and needless to say, that messed with my head big time. Shut me down emotionally, and I was living with my massively obese father who had no clue how to eat properly. Mm-hmm. And we both ate ourselves into oblivion. You know, men like to brag if they're as small as they were when they got married. Well, I'm smaller than I was when I was 13 years old.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, that's scary.
Well, that definitely had to been devastating at 8 years old, and your mom passing away. So
yeah,
definitely.
But I'm not the only person that's happened to.
Well, and that's true. And fortunately, in my arena, my mom just had her 86th birthday yesterday. Good. And so we're blessed that she's still hanging around. She has dementia going on, but she's still hanging. So like we say in the South here, Stanley, she's still hanging in like a hair in a biscuit.
I hear you. Gotcha.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so I was big my whole life, whole adult life. I had times, and it hurt my relationships. I had friends, but women didn't want to date me. It caused issues there, all kinds of things. I had times along the way where I lost some weight, but the changes I made were never permanent, so the weight loss didn't stick. It's like people go on a diet and they say, okay, for the next month, I'm going to eat this way. And then after the end of the month, they go right back to their old habits. And then they're surprised the weight came back on. You want permanent change. You got to make permanent results. So we're going to have a lot of little messages here. I'm going to hold up note cards while I do them. Temporary change is going to give you temporary results. Permanent change is going to give you permanent results. That's something I learned. So fast forward to when I was 50 years old, getting ready to turn 50. That was 17 years ago, February 1st, 2009. I just celebrated my 17th rebirthday. I call that my day of my rebirthday. So I woke up. I was 320 pounds at the time. I wasn't at my max. This is when I was at my max, 367. I had a 58-inch waist, and I'm 5'7". Today I have a 31-inch waist, and I'm still 5'7". So big difference. No drugs, no surgeries, and we'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
So I said, man, where am I going to be in 5 years if I keep doing what I'm doing? Care to guess what the answer was?
Well, it's neither going to be on the show 600 pounds or more, getting that weight loss surgery, see on TV, or you're speculating death.
Death. and not speculating. It was coming, death.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you talk about the 600-pound guy. I used to live in Houston, and he used to be my tenant.
Okay, yeah.
I knew the guy. But so I said, I'm gonna be dead unless I make some changes. I had not hit rock bottom.
That's it. That's big.
No, I had not hit rock bottom.
That's what I'm saying. That's it. That's big.
Yeah, but I know, but
Yeah.
I hadn't had a heart attack yet, hadn't had a stroke yet, knees hadn't given out yet. But my point is, you don't have to wait to hit rock bottom to make changes. That's the point I'm trying to make here.
That's a T-shirt for you, man.
So I said, okay, what changes am I going to make? I started thinking about it. I started out with 4. First one is I was drinking scotch every day. Was I an alcoholic? I don't know. But I was drinking it every day, and I was drinking more than I should, and it was not serving me. I was serving it.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, no more alcohol. I believe in symbolism here. I took my last bottle of scotch. I poured it down the toilet, hit flush, gone. Haven't had a drink in 17 years. Don't miss it. And I want to talk about addiction for a second.
Yeah.
To me, I'm not a doctor here, but to me, there's 2 kinds of addiction. There's the physical addiction where, you're a heroin addict. You're on, nicotine from cigarettes, caffeine from coffee. Yeah, things like that. Those are a little bit harder to kick because there's a physical component to it.
Oh, yeah.
You go through detox when you're doing that stuff. Whereas when I quit drinking, I didn't experience any of that. I like to say I was emotionally addicted to it.
Okay.
I missed it. It was my friend. I wanted it. But surprisingly, I found it pretty easy to quit drinking. I really did. And I know a lot of other people have different experiences, but that has been my experience. And then 2-liter bottles of soda pop. I was drinking 3 of those a day.
Ooh, okay.
But they were diet caffeine free, so surely they were healthy, right?
Surely, that's right. Surely they are.
No, that's BS.
That's right.
That's marketing BS that they're telling us to try to get us to buy that stuff. So, and this is all my opinion here that I'm giving you. So same thing. I took my last bottle, poured it down the toilet, flush, gone. Then I said, I'm going to make a dietary change. I quit eating red meat, beef and pork. And I liked chicken and turkey, so it was no big deal. I'll stop eating beef and pork. And when you consider that my father was a butcher and I grew up in a house with unlimited free meat.
Yep.
Give up beef and pork, that was something. But I did. And then I started walking every day. And when or almost every day, because sometimes my knees hurt. But when I started walking, I could only walk 2 or 3 blocks at a time. So I found a gym that was open 24 hours that had a pool. And I would go there in the middle of the night when the pool was empty, and I would walk laps in the pool.
Yeah.
I built up to an hour, then 2 hours, 3 hours. I set a goal that by my 50th birthday, I wanted to do a 5-hour pool walk. On my 50th birthday, I did that 5-hour pool walk. It actually wasn't that hard. Got it done. And I had lost about 50 pounds by then. Then I kept going, started walking outside, slowly started walking more and more. 4 or 5 years into the process, I had been, I at that time I was walking 10 to 15 miles every day. And I'm not kidding.
Wow.
10 to 15 miles. And I work from home. I work for myself. I have a computer on my treadmill, so I can sit at the 2.25 miles an hour and type and walk while I'm going and work. So, I have a very good lifestyle that I've been able to create for myself that gives me the flexibility to do that, because it takes time, because I walk slowly, but I walk, I persevere. I keep going, and going. So I said, I want to make some more changes, dietary changes. I think I can help myself better. I gave up chicken and turkey. So essentially I went vegetarian, except I was still eating eggs and I was still eating dairy.
Mm-hmm.
But I did that, and I got stronger and better, and I kept going. But then a few years into that process, I got to the point to where I couldn't get below 180 pounds. no matter what I did, my weight would not go below 180. And it wasn't stable. It'd be 180, 190, 200, 190, 180, 190, back and forth. I said, I'm doing something wrong here. So I analyzed my diet again, and I gave up cheese, butter, and ice cream. And see, my whole process, what I've done has been an evolutionary process. And we're going to talk about that too. And it hasn't been a perfect process. I had missteps along the way, many of them.
Uh-huh.
But so I gave up butter, cheese, and ice cream. And when I did that, I lost 50 pounds in like 5 minutes. I mean, I was getting up every morning, pound down, pound down, pound down. That was fun. It's fun to hop on the scale when you're losing a pound every day.
Oh, yeah.
But from the walking I was doing, I was just melting. And I eventually got down to where I wanted to be and to where I am today. And I'm healthy and I feel great. I mean, I just had my annual physical about a month ago, had my blood work done. I'll put my numbers up against any 30-year-old. And I'm
there 60, you go.
And I'm 66.
I'm going to get on the betting odds. I'm going to take your betting numbers too. So okay. I'm gonna be on yours. Hey, now obviously you got that mindset. It's time to change. Did you consult your doctor first? Because most of us, anybody listening, try to consult your physician first. Find the best plan for you. This is what worked for him. But did you consult your physician, and all of a sudden you just showed up 100 pounds later and said, look what I'm doing"?
No, I did not, because I wasn't going to the doctor back then.
Oh, I got you.
I was avoiding the doctor like many people do.
Yeah.
I mean, I was. I don't do that anymore, but I was avoiding the doctor. That's part of the denial.
Yep, I could see that happening, but don't want to listen to what I need to be doing. I know what I need to do.
No.
But yeah, I get you.
But I did research. I knew what to do. The problem was not knowing what to do. The problem was doing it.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get to that. We're going to elaborate on that.
Okay.
So what did I learn from this process of going from 367 to 145, no drugs, no surgeries, and going from a person who can only walk 2 or 3 blocks to a person who over the last 17 years has walked 72,000 miles, 30% of the way to the moon. Just last year alone, I walked 5,166 miles.
Wow.
Imagine I started in Los Angeles. I came within 300 miles of London.
Wow.
But I ended up in the middle of the Atlantic, but I can swim, so I was okay.
There you go.
So the point is, so the first question you want to ask is, am I nuts for doing that much walking? And why do I do that much walking? And do you have to do that much walking? The answer is no, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that much walking. I tell people, walk 20 minutes a day. And if you want to walk more, wonderful, beautiful, but walk 20 minutes a day. That's all you got to do. And why do I do that? Because I can. I've gotten in such good shape. I can do it. See, the process has taught me that I'm more powerful than I ever imagined. I'm a confident guy. I'm an attorney and I'm a CPA. I've had a successful business career, but the process of doing what I've done blew my mind. It really did. It taught me that I'm incredibly powerful. So one of the things I'm doing is I'm searching for my limits. I'm in year 18 of searching for my limits, and I haven't found them yet.
There you go.
And that's good. Always getting better. So the second thing it taught me was that if I'm more powerful than I ever imagined, so is everybody else. So if you're listening, you are more powerful than you ever imagined. I'll repeat that. You are more powerful than you ever imagined. Start to believe it. Because when you believe it, you start asking yourself questions. And the question I asked myself was, if I'm capable of doing this, What else is out there waiting for me to do that I haven't done yet that I should be doing? And the answer I came up with was changing lives, helping people to learn what I've learned. See, people ask me, do I regret what I went through? Do I regret what I put myself through? Would I change things if I could? The answer is yes. If I could go back and change things, I would change things. But I have no regrets for what I've done. I have no regrets for what I've put myself through, because all of that was necessary to teach me what I know today and to turn me into the person I am today. And I happen to like the person I am today. And I am a person who has learned how to change lives in an instant. See, it took me 49 and a half years to change my life in an instant. It doesn't need to take you 49 and a half years. You can do it faster. And that's, so I said, how do I teach this to people? Well, in business, I've been paid a lot of money to take complicated things and make them simple. So I said, how do I turn the game of life into something simple? Well, I came up, how do I create an operating system, a human operating system? Think of it, Windows 11, Mac OS, Android, Linux, for how to be a better human being. Well, I said, first thing I said was, what's the goal of the system? I said, the goal is not perfection. The goal is excellence. See, you know why I say that? Because there are no perfect human beings. There never have been any perfect human beings. You are not perfect. I'm not perfect. You're never going to be perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. Trust me, I know. I've tried. And, and didn't get there.
If we wait for perfection, we'll keep waiting.
That's right. You are going to make mistakes. No doubt about it. The question is, what do you do when you make those mistakes?
Yep.
So what I learned was, instead of being a perfectionist, I became what I call a good enoughist.
There you go.
Good enough is good enough. Good enough should be your floor. But the beauty of good enough is that no matter how good you are, you can always get better. There's always a level higher. There's always a level deeper, a level farther, a level beyond. You can always work for that. And that's what excellence is striving to constantly get better. As you have, I know you were talking about one of my books, constant and never-ending improvement, getting better every day. The goal is real simple. Here's your goal. Beat yesterday.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Your goal is to be better today than you were yesterday, better tomorrow than you are today. Keep going, and realize, because you're a human being, you're going to have some days where you don't beat yesterday, some days where you screw up. But if you pick yourself back up and you persevere, told you I was going to talk about that, and you keep going, that is beating yesterday, because the old you in the past would have quit. So if you don't quit and you keep going and going and going, think of the Energizer Bunny. You keep going and going. That's what I am with my walking. I'm a walking machine. People in my neighborhood, they laugh at me when they see what I'm doing. And I've inspired one other guy in my neighborhood who started doing a lot of walking, and I made him proud the other day. I called him my protege.
There you go.
He laughed when I said that. But you keep going. So I said, what are the traits of an excellent human being? I came up with 20. And that list, it took me a while to come up with that list. I put the traits in a specific order because some of them are foundational concepts. They build on each other, and they get you to an end point. And I've put it all together into a nice, neat system. It's called The Way of Excellence. The Way of Excellence. You can see how anal I am. It's a nice color-coded chart. Everything lines up. Fits all together. I have a big version of it on the wall behind me. This whole system, it's available on my website, thewayofexcellence.com. Thewayofexcellence.com. Please put that in the show notes.
We will.
For people.
We will.
If you go there, these 20 concepts that I'm about to talk about, there's a video on each one of them. They're 8 to 12 minutes each. You should set a goal, watch one a day. If you watch one a day in less than a month, you will have learned the whole system, and then you'll be off to the races. And then I have several of my books on the website, all available digitally for free. You can read them. I'm not charging you. It's not that I don't love money. It's that the message is more important than the money.
I get you.
You know, if people want to hire me privately to work with me, I'll be happy to work with you privately. That costs money, but you don't have to do that. The message is more important. So pay attention to the message.
I like this. I like you.
And thank you. So what's the first trait of an excellent human being? Well, anybody who's been to a 12-step program will recognize this. Learn to tell it like it is. Admit you've got a problem. On February 1st, 2009, I admitted I had a problem. I said, if I don't start making changes, I'm going to be dead. You can't tell it like it is any more than that.
Yeah.
But there's a second part to it. A second part that I had ignored for so many years. That was not the first time I told myself I needed to do something. But it was the first time I decided that I was going to permanently act upon what I told myself. Permanently. That's where the perseverance comes in. Permanently. Permanent. You know, as I don't know if you ever saw the movie Galaxy Quest.
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay. Never give up. Never surrender. You know, that's what's involved in there. You know, never give up. Never surrender. Keep going, keep going, keep going. When you mess up, pick yourself back up. Keep going. Okay, now, number 2, life is a long-term game, not a short-term game. The problem is we live in a short-term world. You know, Uber Eats, Instagram, Alexa, Siri, ChatGPT, Gemini, streaming video, you know, Amazon Prime. Everything is instant, instant, instant. Well, ask an Italian chef, can you make good tomato sauce in 5 minutes?
That's right.
No, it has to sit on the stovetop for hours,
Yep.
if not days or weeks.
Yeah.
You know, it has to simmer and cook and cook and cook. So it takes time. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself time. Good things in life often take time. Life is a long-term game. The problem is every time we give in to our short-term desires, we're mortgaging our long-term future. You know, every time I went to a Chinese buffet for lunch, it made me feel good when I was eating it. But I was knocking hours, days, weeks, months, years off my life, quality years, by doing that. Same thing when I was drinking every day. Same thing when I was sitting on my butt every day. You know, giving into your short term mortgages your long term. Then 3, taking personal responsibility. It's not my mother's fault she died when I was 8. It's not my father's fault. He had no clue how to tell me how to eat properly. He had a 5th grade education. All he knew was to work hard and take care of his family. That's all he knew. And he did a good job of that. You know, so forgive him for that. Don't worry about it. And then while I'm at it, don't blame myself either. Because blame is irrelevant. Yep. Blame does not fix problems. All that matters is figuring out what needs to be done and then doing it. That's all that matters. Blame is irrelevant. So if you're a politician in Washington and you hear that message, please learn blame is irrelevant. Stop blaming each other. Please start fixing things.
Amen.
Yeah. Now, and you can say that message no matter which side you're on.
Exactly. Yep.
Now, 4, embrace change. Stop fearing change. Embrace change. The things you want in life, the best things you want in life are on the other side of your fear. It could be pretty scary. I knew I was going to have to make changes, but I said, I'm going to do it anyway. I didn't let fear stop me. I faced everything. I rose to the occasion. That's what you do. 5, focus, positive focus. There's something I call the principle of expansion. Everything, whatever you focus on in your life is what you're going to get more of. So you should focus on the positive. Start using the word can, stop using the word can't. Start focusing on the positive, stop focusing on the negative. Start focusing on the good, stop focusing on the bad. Engage in positive self-talk, stop with the negative self-talk. Or as Zig Ziglar used to say, stop with the stinking thinking.
There you go.
Positive, be positive. Then here's a good one. Number 6, perspective. I learned something. Actually, I learned it from a person I had met 2 years earlier from when I started my journey about the power of positive perspective. I'll tell you her story in a second. Basically, I stopped saying, I don't have to lose weight. I get to lose weight. I don't have to eat healthy. I get to eat healthy. I don't have to get my butt out of bed and go for a walk. I get to get my butt out of bed and go for a walk. It is my privilege to do these things. I am alive. I am breathing. It's my privilege. Now, let me tell you who taught me that. 2 years earlier, in 2007, I was driving around the United States interviewing 50 people for a book I was writing. And at the very beginning of the journey, I interviewed a woman in Honolulu, Hawaii, named Peggy Chun. And Peggy was an artist. And by the time I had met her, she was in the last stages of ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease.
Okay.
She was completely bedridden, on a ventilator, could not speak, could not move at all. The only way she could communicate was trained people would hold up an eye chart and she could spell out words. They could read her eye movements and she could spell out words. So interviewing her for the book, it took me like 2 hours to get a 20-minute interview out of her.
Yeah.
And when I saw her, the thought that went through my mind was that if I ever get like that, please put a pillow over my head and take me out. I want to die. But that was not Peggy's attitude. Peggy's attitude was, my grandkids are coming over later today. It's a beautiful sunny day. We're going to sit outside and we're going to go paint. We're going to have a wonderful time. It's a beautiful day. You're getting ready to drive around the country and you're going to interview these 50 fantastic people. Tell me all about them. I want to hear their stories. That sounds like so much fun. I wish I could go with you.
Yeah.
So this woman who was in a state where I would want to be dead had more joy for life than anyone I've ever met. So when I had mornings where I didn't want to get up and go walking, you know the old saying, what would Jesus do? I started saying, what would Peggy Chun do?
What would Peg do?
And what Peggy Chun would do is she would have gotten her lazy butt out of bed and she'd have gone out for a walk, and she might not ever come back if she was having such a good time.
That's right.
And so anytime I didn't feel like walking, I said, this one's for you, Peggy. And I got up and I went, she passed away about a year after I met her. But, so I still remember her to this day. And then there's vision. Have a bold vision for yourself. Imagine a better life for yourself. You're capable of it. Bold dreams, big dreams. My dreams have expanded beyond me. My dreams are that I want to help thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people, billions of people improve their lives. Am I going to do that? I don't know, but that's my goal. That's what I'm shooting for. That's my goal. And then I'm going to skip around a little bit.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
10, taking consistent action. I used to say I wanted to lose weight and get in shape, and then I'd go to Chinese buffets for lunch, come home from work, sit on my butt and drink scotch. Is that going to help me lose weight and get in shape?
Not consistently.
No, not at all. So my actions were not consistent with my stated goals.
Mm-hmm.
But when I stopped going to Chinese buffets and started bringing healthy food to work for lunch, when I stopped drinking scotch, when I started getting off my butt and going out for a walk, guess what? I started losing weight. So my actions became consistent with my goals. Then number 11 is your favorite, which we already touched on a little bit, persistence. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. See, people think success is a straight line.
Oh, yeah.
It's not. Zigzags, up, down, left, right, backwards.
That's right.
Forward,
That's right.
up, down, all the above. It's persistence is just get started and keep going. Never stop, never stop, never stop, never stop. If you fall down, get back up. Fall down 7 times, get up 8. Me, I've probably fallen down 1,000 times and I've gotten up 1,001.
I hear you.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Persistence. Then respect. Respect for others and respect for yourself. And that's something I think is lacking in our society right now. There's
Which
not
one?
There's
Respect
not
for others or ourselves?
both. There's not enough respect for others, and there's not enough respect for ourselves. See, first of all, I've learned that even if I don't like someone or like what they're doing, show them respect anyway, because respect is a measure of my character, not theirs. I respect someone because I'm a person who respects people. And if we would all become people who respect other people, the world will be a better place. And then respect for myself. I used to complain that I didn't get enough respect from other people, the respect I felt like I deserved, all while I was walking around at 367 pounds. So outwardly, I was showing people a manifestation that on some level, I didn't respect myself enough to take care of myself. Is it any wonder they didn't respect me? Duh.
That's right.
Seriously. So start respecting yourself, loving yourself, be kind to yourself, be honest with yourself, be loyal to yourself, embrace yourself. Okay. Then win-win thinking. In order for just because I want to win, it doesn't mean you have to lose.
Mm-hmm.
There are ways there is more than enough in this world. We can create a world where everyone can win. You don't have to lose in order for me to win. So, that's a big one right there. And then balance, creating a balanced life. First of all, I've learned that balance is not something you find. You don't go to a class or read a book and find balance. A balanced life is something you intentionally and consciously create for yourself. And what do I mean by balance? I'm going to give you a good definition here, really simple. Balance is identifying everything that's deficient and increasing it, identifying everything that's excessive and decreasing it. That's balance. Real simple. You get together, that's balance.
Yeah.
You have too much, decrease it. Not enough, increase it. Too much sitting on my butt. Well, stop sitting on my butt. Start walking. Too much eating crap. Well, stop eating crap. Start eating healthy stuff. That's all balance. So I've intentionally been able to create a very balanced life for myself, and I'm very lucky about that. Now we get to the crux of the matter. This might be the most important one here. Let me ask you, what do you think are the 3 most important words in the English language?
3 words. I'm not sure. I think one of them might be, and it's only 2 words. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
We have to say we're sorry enough to people when we're wrong. So
yeah. Yes, I agree. But to me, I used to say it was "I love you."
That's it. Yep, it's probably better than the "I'm sorry." You're right.
I'm sorry too.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah, I love you. We need to, especially like I said, my mom just turned 86 yesterday. Yep, she needs to hear it more and more.
I love you, Mom.
That's
But
right.
there's three that I think
Those
are,
days are being limited with her. So
but
yeah,
yeah.
you're
And three,
right. I love you. That
I
age is
haven't
yeah.
had a mother for 58 years. Appreciate what you got.
Yeah.
So, but I think there's three words that are even more important than that. Are you willing?
Okay.
Because unless you are, and until such time as you become willing to permanently do what it takes for the rest of your hopefully very long, hopefully very happy, hopefully very healthy life, you're not going to permanently get what you want. Are you willing? See, on February 1st, 2009, I became willing to permanently do what it takes. And I didn't start out perfectly. It was an evolutionary process. You know, me, people who want to get started, when I get to the end, I'm going to give you 4 tips on what I think people should do when they get started. And there are 4 things that any able-bodied person should be able to do. It's not Superman kind of stuff. You know, it's if you're able-bodied, you should be able to do this. Okay, so that's willing. And then 17, belief. Believe you can or believe you can't. Either way, you're going to be right.
You're right. That's right. Yeah.
So start believing in yourself. I already told you, you are more powerful than you ever imagined. I've never met you, and I know that for a fact. You are more powerful than you ever imagined. Believe it, because when you do, that's when you discover your true power, your true potential, the things you can do. Then 18, discipline. I'm talking about self-discipline here, not punishment. Okay. People ask me, how do you stay motivated? The answer is I don't. Motivation wears off. If I relied on motivation for this process, I would have quit within a week.
Oh yeah.
You know, I didn't want to do it. Motivation gets you started, but that's all it's good for. Discipline is what keeps you going. And by discipline, I mean identifying your negative habits and eliminating them. You know, going to Chinese buffets every day, gone. Eating crappy food every day, gone. Drinking scotch every day, gone. Drinking soda pop every day, gone. Sitting on my butt every day, gone. And replacing them with positive habits that I intentionally created. Walking every day, yes. Eating healthy food every day, yes. You know, that's what it's about. Spending time alone with myself to think and work on myself every day, yes. Those are positive habits that you intentionally create for yourself. You know, this is all about intention. It's the life I have is a life that I have intentionally created for myself.
Yes.
Then 19, commitment. Okay. Everything I've done sounds pretty tough, doesn't it? You got to do this, got to do that, have to do this, have to do that. Well, I already
No,
said
we get to do this.
yes. You've been
We
listening.
get to do that.
Yes,
There you go.
I'm going to make it even easier. When you become 100% committed to something, it becomes easier.
Yep.
Example, I am 100% committed that no unhealthy food is going to enter my mouth. So the week before Christmas, when a lawyer I was working with had gourmet cupcakes and cookies delivered to me, I didn't ask myself, can I eat these? I could have. I mean, I could have probably eaten. If I ate 1 or 2 of them, it wouldn't have killed me. I don't think it would have set me back down, you know, the slide back to where I was. But bottom line is I have no business eating cookies. I've already had my lifetime share of cookies. You know, I don't need that stuff. And I've had your lifetime share and 20 other people's.
I hear you.
So I gave them to a neighbor who lives down the street who's very skinny, who likes that kind of stuff. She was happy. I was happy. Everybody was happy. So
a win-win.
Yes. And that's when you've been listening to that too. You know, a place where, yes, we all can win. So, but I didn't do that. It was easy because I didn't ask the question. See, same thing with my walking. I'm 100% committed to walking 2 or more hours every day. And I do a lot more than that actually, but my minimum is 2 or more hours. And I'm committed to doing that. So if I, sat there and said, do I feel like walking today? Some days I don't feel like it. Seriously, I don't feel like it. And if I don't feel like it, too bad. I don't care if I don't feel like it or not. It's irrelevant. I walk every day because I am a person who walks every day. That's why the 2 people in this picture, they have the same DNA, but they're not the same person. They have different personalities, different traits. They are different people, different habits. They do different things. I walk every day because it's who I am. And when I do that, I don't ask the question anymore. And when you don't ask the question, it makes it easier. You stop wasting time. Asking the question is negative. Don't need to do that. So
I've been there before where going to exercise, and then I'm going, shoot, I don't feel like it today. But I persevere, go ahead and do it. And when I'm over with, I'm so glad I went on and done it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, once it's over with, you go, well, I'm glad I did it, even though I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, big time. You're absolutely right. So it's, there's power in that. And that's most of the system in a nutshell. And like I said, there's videos on each of the 20 concepts. I recommend you watch one a day. And in less than a month, you'll chew through the whole system. You'll learn the system and then start reading the books.
I appreciate that you're sharing all this, like you said, for free. You could make money, like you said, but the material and information is more important. And I really appreciate that you're sharing everybody like that.
You're welcome. And I do that because I can. Not everyone can do that. I realize, I'm in a stage in my life, where I've worked hard and I've put money away and I'm in good shape.
Yeah.
And, it's not that I don't like money, because I do. But, some things are more important. This is where my passion is. This is where my vision lies. This is why I am on this earth. This is what I am supposed to do. This is what I was put here for. This is what life trained me to do.
I was sitting there thinking, I don't know how much you know about me, but I'm in a wheelchair. Got my neck broke playing football.
Well, I figured that when I saw the wheelchair in the P.
There you go. I don't know how many people really noticed that, but it's there for a reason. But yeah, now I forgot where I was going with it.
You said you were wheelchair, you broke
your
neck.
Yeah. What were you talking about right before I interrupted you there?
I was just talking about, go for it. That I don't remember exactly either. I mean,
yeah,
it'll come back to you in a minute.
Hey, I'm having my brain fart. So, yep. So, but well, I don't even know what to say because I'm trying to figure out what I wanted to say. All right, you go ahead and if I remember, I'll jump in.
Okay, so I tell people you're gonna make mistakes when you get started. You're gonna. Mistakes are proof that you're trying. Cut yourself some slack. Don't beat yourself up. Just realize that. Now let's talk about 4 things that most people should be able to do if they want to get started being healthier. 1, eat less processed food and more natural food. Don't go to McDonald's all the time. Don't go to, eat frozen pizzas all the time. Don't eat frozen dinners, all this stuff all the time. Processed food generally is bad for us. It has lots of added ingredients, added salt, added sugars. It's not good for us. Now, you notice I'm not saying never eat it. I don't eat it anymore. I've stopped eating it. But like I said, it was an evolutionary process. When I started in the beginning, I was still eating processed food. So it's okay. The point is get started. And what I am today is where my journey has taken me, kind of thing. But eat more fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, grains. Someone like you sitting in a wheelchair, I would recommend that highly.
Oh yeah.
Big time. Healthier diet, it heals your body, as much as you can. And since you're in a wheelchair, you probably don't get as much physical activity as you would like, and you have to do mostly a lot of stuff with your arms and things like that, I'm guessing. So.
Yeah, my biggest exercise, if I can get out and push 1 to 3 miles, I'm doing great. So
Okay.
that's about my limits on that.
And then the wheelchair pushing it, right?
Me pushing the wheelchair, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's
yeah.
good. But you can do that. That's actually
Oh.
good. Because what I was going to say is I tell people walk at least 20 minutes a day. So in your case, I would say push the wheelchair 20 minutes a day. And it sounds to me like you're already doing that. But do that every day. Do it. Keep going. And if you can't do 20 minutes, do 10. Do 5.
Yeah, get a starting point. Find your starting point.
Do whatever you can. And if you miss a day, just start again the next day.
Yeah.
Don't say I quit. Don't say I give up. Don't say I'm a failure. Don't say I'm worthless. Don't say any of those things. Just keep going, keep going. Then quit eating 4 to 5 hours before you go to bed. That's a bigger one for a lot of people. If you go to bed at 11, quit eat dinner by 6. And the reason why I say that is if you allow your body 4 to 5 hours before you go to bed with no food, and then you sleep 6, 7, 8 hours at night, you're giving your body, 10, 12, 13, maybe 14 hours of not eating food. That starts a process called autophagy, where your body has a chance to clear out its cells and to clean itself, cleanse itself, clear your bowels, clean everything out. That's how you get healthier. It really is a good way to do that. Then set aside 15 minutes a day just for yourself every day. Quiet room, close the door, got kids, don't let the kids bug you, don't let your dogs bug you, don't do anything. 15 minutes a day. If you want to pray, go pray. If you want to meditate, go meditate. I recommend take 15 minutes a day and watch one of my videos. That'll get you started. All those things, but 15 minutes a day on yourself. Because you know what happens? If you will set aside 15 minutes a day for yourself, over the course of a year, you will have set aside over 90 hours for yourself. And that's 2 work weeks.
Yeah.
And you can get a lot done in 2 work weeks. So just start. And what happens is when you start setting aside 15 minutes for yourself, you start wanting to set aside more time. I set aside hours every day for myself. And I do it intentionally. Quiet time when nobody disturbs me, nobody bothers me. And that's when I get my best stuff done.
There you go. You get to assess the situation.
Yeah, absolutely. So did any of that remind you what you wanted me to tell me?
No. Only thing I could think off the top of my head was maybe I was just going to say I didn't know if you knew, but I'm in a wheelchair, but I try to be as active as I can in that. But I did go to a phase where I ballooned bigger than I ever been, and I was weighing over 300 pounds.
I can imagine.
And it doesn't take long for someone like me to do that. And my service dog, we had to put him down 2 years ago, so I couldn't get out. Well, not that I couldn't. I didn't go out and walk anymore because I wasn't walking him.
Yeah.
So we just sat, watch TV, on the computer. Yeah. So I've gotten back to it a year and a half ago, back to where I need to be to
no, back to where you get to be.
Get to be, that's right, where I get to be. So it's just makes it easier transferring, makes things a lot easier. And then plus I'm happier, like you said, that it's just because it's so much easier without that extra weightage. So
yeah, and you diet is even more important because of
Yeah.
the productivity part. What you put in your mouth, your inputs, what you put in your mouth, the thoughts you put in your head, all those things, very important. There's on my website, again, thewayofexcellence.com, there's a lot of nutritional information on there as well. There's a whole tab up top that talks about, eating, healthy nutrition, healthy mindset. I've got tons more videos, several experts I've lined up where I've talked to. We did a lot of webinars and I turned them into clips and I put them up there. Great information
Now,
for people.
I may be a little selfish on this point here, but I just want to change the topic just a little bit. What's the book where you interviewed the 50 people? Um, when you went to the woman in Hawaii?
Yeah, it's not on my website. And I don't even have it published anymore because it was so long ago.
Okay.
And to be quite frank with you, my earlier books weren't the greatest.
I get you.
And they've gotten better. And what I did along the way was once I came up with the Way of Excellence, everything is kind of centered around that. So I don't have those books, out there anymore. I mean, when I get off the podcast, I'll be happy to email you a copy.
Okay. I just wanted to read the stories of the other people.
I'll email you a PDF.
I tell people that selfishly, I get to get fired up because I get to interview you and other people. I get to be fired up first, and then being selfish this way. So I enjoy meeting you and everything that you've done, meeting everybody else that's come through here. It just give me joy that I figure part of my purpose in life is starting this podcast to help you and others get y'all's message out so y'all can help other people.
There's a thing, I agree with you. There's a thing called healthy selfishness.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of healthy selfishness. See, the day that I decided I was going to change my life and get in shape, I'll share the conversation I had with my wife that day. And just so you know, I'll give you a spoiler alert. We're still married.
There you go.
But I told her, I said, I'm getting ready to make some changes in my life. And you might like them and you might not like them. You might agree with them and you might not agree with them. And I don't care. I said, I have to make these changes or I'm going to be dead.
Mm-hmm.
And
or there's going to be a permanent change.
Yeah. And I said, and if you don't like what I'm doing, there's the door. You can walk out right now. I told her that. And she didn't. I call that a moment of healthy selfishness. Mm-hmm. I stood up for myself.
There you go.
She did not walk out and she stuck with me. And I'll be honest, we get along much better now than we did then.
There you go.
But like other examples, healthy selfishness. When I started on this journey, I set a rule for myself that I don't eat past 5:00 at night. Well, her mother, my mother-in-law, used to like to take the family out to dinner to fancy restaurants, 6:30, 7:00 at night. So I'd go to dinner with everybody and I wouldn't eat. And she would look at me like I'm nuts. She would tell me I'm crazy. And I told her, don't let my craziness be your craziness.
There you go.
And I said, think of me as a cheap date. And I sat there and I didn't eat. I talked with everyone. I socialized with everyone, had a good time with everyone. And I did not care what they thought. If they thought I was crazy, too bad. It's funny. They might have thought I was crazy, but now they sure as hell respect me.
There you go.
For what I've done and who I've become.
With your guns and the permanent changes. And
It took her 4 or 5 years. And finally, one day she told me, she said, I still think you're probably nuts, but you've done a great job and I'm really proud of you.
There you go.
But it took her 4 or 5 years to say that. And that's fine. That's okay. You don't, I have people ask me all the time, they go, you're telling me to go to the gym. Well, when I go to the gym, I'm embarrassed. I go, who cares what other people think? all that matters is what do you think? It's
I
all
had
that
an instructor one time that she told his stories in a health class, and she was a smoker. And she said that she was a thin woman because she smoked. She used that in place of eating.
yeah.
And one of her friends told her, well, you're going to be the thinnest woman in the coffin, because of cigarettes. And so she ended up quitting. She did put on some weight, wasn't real bad, but put on weight. But she improved her health by stopping the smoking because someone else mentioned you're going to be the best looking, thinnest woman, like that.
It's funny when you said the thinnest one in a coffin, because I always tell people if they argue with me about nutrition, I always say we can discuss it at your funeral.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because
So,
I hope to outlive you. And I'm not trying to be arrogant. It's just that's how strong of a believer I am in healthy nutrition. I mean, look, from the day I went vegetarian 12 years ago, I've been sick one time. From the day I went vegetarian, I have not been sick at all. And I define sick as a day where I can't get up and walk at least 2 hours.
mm-hmm.
That's sick to me. And that includes COVID. I got exposed to COVID. My wife caught COVID in an airport and brought it home. My body threw it off.
There you go.
I mean, I felt it. I mean, for 2 days, I felt less than 100%, but my body threw it off. And and I think a lot of that is the power of nutrition, the power of exercise. And
Mm-hmm.
I also had the vaccine. So I'm sure that didn't hurt me,
Yeah, yeah.
But, all those things.
You mentioned arrogance. I think back when I played sports, it's cockiness,
Yeah.
To me, if you're going to make a positive, permanent change like you're talking, I think you have to have a bit of an arrogance or cockiness or real high confidence of yourself so you're not dragged down into
You
that.
can be confident without being cocky.
Well, and without being an ass.
Yeah.
So,
Without being an
and,
ass.
and,
Absolutely.
and yeah, but I think to do a lot of that, you've got to
Been,
be,
been there,
you got to
been
live in
there,
that
done
cloud. Oh,
that.
I definitely have. And that's one of them where when I finally realized that I do apologize to people that I'm sorry that my upfrontness offended you. So I'm one of them. I tell it like it is. I don't have a filter. Not that I'm trying to hurt your feelings. It just, you know, if a woman come up to me and says I look fat in this dress, I'll probably give her the right answer that she doesn't want to hear. So I just don't have a filter. So
That reminds me of a joke I'm not going to repeat right now.
all right, Stanley, man, I appreciate this. You've taught me a lot, and I just love, man, your confidence and your positivity, and just man, the excitement that you bring. Knowing, oh, I know where I'm going with it now. You brought it back to me there, Stanley. I've learned since being in a wheelchair that the first book I wrote, I didn't know if it was helping anybody or not. And two people told me they read my book and it was changing their life.
Makes you feel good, doesn't
Well,
it?
it makes you feel good when you know it. But that's when I told myself, I don't have to know it. I just got to trust the system, trust what I'm doing, and somebody's getting some help. We're not going to get that feedback.
That's right. I mean, I had 4 or 5 months ago, I had somebody out of the blue who had never talked to me before emailed me and said, Stanley, I read your stuff. I had a health scare and was in the hospital back in July. Since then, I've lost 60 pounds doing what you said, and I feel fantastic. Thank you very much.
Yep.
I didn't make a
Yep.
penny off him, didn't do anything. Made me feel good.
Yeah. It's that awareness that we somehow, for whatever reason, we need it to make feel good about ourselves. But I've come to learn I don't have to know it. I just got to trust that it's helping somewhere, somebody. So that was it. All right,
Okay.
Stanley. Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, give everybody your website again and other social medias
It's
that you want to.
just go to the website, thewayofexcellence.com.
And I'll definitely put it in the show notes.
Just
Yeah.
go there. It'll take you everywhere you need to go. And
All right.
you can contact me there too through that.
All right. I appreciate it, Stanley. Hey, we know there's people hurting and struggling today. And if you can leave us with a positive message, that'd be a blessing.
Yes. You are more powerful than you ever imagined. You've got this. This is your time. That's the message.
That's it. I definitely believe it. And it's a shame that sometimes we got to go through stuff in life to remind us how strong we really are. So,
That's
all right.
okay. That's part of the process.
That is. Yes, yes, yes. Stanley, I appreciate meeting you. I appreciate sharing everybody. And we may, in months from now, do a little part 2 to see where you're at. And
Or do one to see where you're at.
there we go. See how we're doing. That's right.
Yeah.
So, all right, Stanley, I appreciate it. Hey, everybody, let's share this out with someone that you know can use some good inspiration, a good motivation, give you some discipline. Go to the website. And the website again is
thewayofexcellence.com.
thewayofexcellent.com. Excellence.com. And then it will be in the show notes.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Everybody do something today, tomorrow, something next week that's going to help you persevere past your paralysis. Well, let me get this mic right here. Push that button and this button and